activity, send broadcast receivers, start services, and send message between two activities. So before that, you should know what is an activity. So I've opened this messaging application inside my emulator. Okay, I don't know why it is not working. Yeah, so as you can see, I've opened this messages application that is already inside my emulator. So as you can see, it has the home main activity as this one. So this is the main activity that we are seeing. This is the main activity for this application, messaging application. Okay, what did I do? Yeah, this is the application. So now suppose if I want to in our application, suppose if you want to create one more activity, if you all remember in the previous videos, we created this addition calculator, right? This one. Let this thing open up. So as it was another one, but if I want one more option over here, that will show me one more activity that will have subtraction calculator. That will be a subtraction calculator. Then for that, we have to create one more activity. So we have to press file. We can press file, we can press new, and we can go to activity and then go to empty activity. Then there are like many activities over here. Press this gallery button, and there are like many activities over here. Suppose if you want to open the map by clicking a button over here, if I have a button over here, that will show us the it will show us a map over here. Then we have to choose this map, Google Maps activity, and there is empty activity, and there are like many inbuilt activities inside this one already. Okay, so I'll just use the empty activity, and I will call this activity as second activity. Okay, layout name will be this one, so it will have another layout for this one. So now let's get back to our messaging application. Okay, so now just see this thing. As soon as I press this plus button, I will have a new activity over here. See, I'm having a new activity of starting a new conversation. I can write anything over here. So this is what is the intent. I mean, like, this is an activity. So whenever I press this thing, so it is moving us to this activity, right? So intent is helping us to do that. So by the help of intent, we are able to move from one activity to another activity. If anyone asks you in an interview, what is an intent, then you must tell an intent will help us to move from one activity to another activity. And then that activity might be anything that you want. Suppose if I want to, okay, suppose I will write a SAF over here. Okay, write 9515. So over here, as you can see, this is one activity. Now if I press this plus button, and I like press this gallery button and press this button over here, now it is moving us to the gallery of our application. So I don't think we have any photos over here. So I guess, yeah, there are no photos over here. So it is showing us this one. So it is moving us to the gallery. So this is one type of intent. So there are like two types of intents available: implicit intents and explicit intents. There are like no items inside this one, so we cannot put any this thing. Coming to the implicit intents, implicit intents is this one. So like any application is responsible for like giving us the information. Suppose if you want a photo from this photos, so Android Studio doesn't know that. And coming to the explicit, Android Studio knows that which application, which class name that our activity should move. So that is the explicit intent, and implicit intents are this one. So basically, in normal ways, explicit intents are basically used to move inside our application, and implicit intents are used to gain access, like photos, like taking a photo, yeah, something like that. You initiate an activity without knowing which app or activity will handle the task. For example, if you want your app to take a photo, send email, or display a location on a map, you typically don't care which app or activity performs the task. Okay, so yeah, So let's move on and just finish with this thing. Okay, so now over here I will just press this, take this button and drag and drop it over here, and I'll press this magic button. Okay, and I will write move to second. And I'll just put it over here, like right over here. And okay, and I will just move to the, so as you can see, we created a activity, right? So this activity and this activity are like different things. Similarly, like in our messaging app, this is the main activity and this is the conversation activity. So these two are different activities. So we have different designs for that. Let me close off everything. That will not affect my RAM. Okay, so now this is the second activity XML file. So second activity design. So let me write this one again. Let me write the button as move back. Okay, this is the move back. Yes, and now this is the move back, and now yeah, I'll press this magic button. That will basically take all of the constraints. Okay, and now I will move back over here and I will write the code for moving it to the left, to the second activity. For that we have to the ID for this one is, let's give this ID to move ID, and let's write move, and let's create a button over here, button, and press alt enter to import the widget, and I will call this thing as move. Okay, and I'll go and write the find view by ID, and I'll write r.id.move. Yes, move. And now I will write a set on click listener, new on click listener. That will generate a new on click listener. And now here comes the tricky part. It's not a tricky part, I'm sorry, it is an easy part. Okay, here we have to write intent, INTNT, and write the name of the intent. Suppose if I write in any name that you want, like second intent. Okay, and write new intent. So inside this thing we have to write few things. First is the context. I suppose you all know what is the context. We can write main activity dot this. So we are basically telling we are moving from this activity to the activity that we want to move. Suppose if I want to move to the second activity, then I can write second activity dot class. That's it. Write a semicolon over here. Let me just close this one so that you can see everything. Yeah, so then it is very simple. We have to write intent, the name of the intent is equals to new intent main activity dot this one. We are moving from here to this one, main activity to second activity. Okay, and now after that we just have to start our activity, start activity, and we have to pass the intent that we have created. So we'll write second intent. That's it. And now look at the code over here. I'll explain this code to you again. It is very simple. It's nothing confusing, guys. Please listen. See, intent, second intent. So we are creating an intent with the name of second intent and is equals to new intent. So we are creating an object over here, new intent, and inside the double brackets we have to write from where to where we have to move. So we have to move from main activity to second activity dot class. So after that we have to start the activity. Okay, just look at this code. I'll be giving you a challenge after this. Okay, so let me press run application. So this will basically run the application on the emulator. Let me tell you again, it is very simple. There is no confusion at all. There's no such rocket science over here. We are just using this intent and moving it moving to the second activity dot class. Okay, so here we have to write dot this, and here we have to write dot class. You do not have to memorize everything. Once you practice again and again, you will know how to use this thing. Okay, so app is successfully installed. I'll press this move to second. As soon as I press this one, it will create one more, it will open up this activity that we have created over here. And now, as a challenge, what I want you to do, I want you to create this functionality. Whenever I press this move back, of course we can press the back button to move back to the activity that we came from, but I want you to create this button. Whenever I press this create move back button, it should move back to this place. So can you do that? So I suppose you have done that. It was very simple. I'll be just doing this. I'll be just doing this thing very much quickly. Move button. Okay, and now I will quickly write the code for this one. Button, move button. Move button is equals to find view by id dot id dot move button. Move button dot set on click listener new on click listener, and over here I will write intent. I'll slow it down over here. I will write first intent. You can name anything that you want. I can even name Saf over here. Let's name it Saf and write new intent, and we have to pass in from where to where we have to move. So in this case, we are moving from second activity dot this to main activity dot class. Okay, and after that I have to start the activity. Saf. So you can name anything that you want over here and press this button. So that will start our application. Yeah, it's installing. Move back, and there we go. It's working. It's working fine. So that means our application is working, and it is working really good. So yeah, in this video we learned how to use intents, and yeah, how to there is one more way of starting intents. Instead of writing all of this code, we can basically write start activity, and inside this thing we'll write new intent and pass in the values. Second activity dot this to main activity dot class. This will also work. Okay, this is like the minimized version of writing the intent. So that's it for this video, guys. See you all guys in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.